Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to learn how to play Bullet with Butterfly Wings by Smashing Pumpkins. So first things first, we're tuned down a half step here. So just take every string on your guitar, tune it down a half step. That'll be E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and E flat. Alright? So from there, we have a few different sections, a lot of dynamics in this song, so it's pretty fun to play though. So let's get into it here. So let's start here with this verse that I just played. We're going to be based around this B power chord. So that's second fret on the A, fourth on the D and G, and then the open B. So you play that, and then open up the A string to the open A, and then back down with the second fret. So we have, then come over and lay your third fret there on the low E string, and then play the low open E. So it's basically the root note's the one that's moving around there. So after you get to that low E, then you're going to come back. The open A is going to be in the root of the chord. So you still have those two notes just hanging out. And you know, he doesn't hit the B string every single time, but you'll hear it in there quite a bit. So we have this. Alright, so it basically repeats that 7 times. And then we do a kind of a variation on that, which basically turns into the pre-chorus here, which sounds like this. So that's just the B note there on the second fret on the A string in the bass, then the low E in the bass, then the third fret, and then that open A. So do that all together 4 times. And then after you've done that, so the first one, this verse 7 times, then this one 4 times, and then we have just a little riff that leads us into the actual chorus itself, which is just. So that's the second fret, 5th fret, second fret on the 5th string there, then the 3rd fret on the low E again, and then back to that A root. Kind of strum that to build up the dynamics, and then we get to the chorus, which is on a distorted tone here. So let me switch over to a distorted sound here, and this is what the chorus sounds like. Alright, so what's going on there? It's pretty simple. We're going to start with that same B power chord. You can play it, I switch it up. Sometimes I'll play like this, sometimes I'll play like this. So we have to the G power chord. Now the G power chord is an open power chord, so it's basically we've removed the 3rd. So it's just like the standard G chord, except the A string there is muted by the bottom of that middle finger. Then to a D power chord, which is just like a D major chord, but you don't play the high E string. That just makes it a D power chord. Then the A power chord, open A string, second fret on the D and the G. So all together. Then jump up here and grab the E power chord. That's 7th fret on the A and 9th on the D and the G. Back down into that G power chord. So all together. Repeat. So after the 4th time, we do this. which is 2-0-2 on the low E, over to that A power chord. The second guitar player is just going to grab the 5th fret there and go on the low E. Now, when you see them play this live now, they might, change the fingerings around a little bit, make it a little bit more lazy or whatever. They don't come up and grab this chord. You can hear it on the recording. It's very obvious. So they're coming up here, coming up and grabbing that power chord and moving it down. So you might not see them play it exactly the same way these days, but they can do what they want with it. It's their song. All right, so let's start here now. From there, we've gotten to we're back to the verse section, the quiet parts, and we have a few fills that happen over this. So I'll go back down to a clean tone here, and we have that same familiar verse riff, and then we have some fills. The fills will sound like this. So that's the first fill that's going on underneath the verse. So then we have, so that's just the 14th fret on the G, open B and high E. Then the 12th fret on the G, and just the high E string after that. Then the 11th fret on the G, and then you can pick high E first, then the B. And then back to the 11, play 12, slide down to 7, and pick that. So we have this. All right, so after we've done that a few times, the distortion comes back in, and this next fill is over that pre-chorus, really. And it's just kind of a contained B note here with an open B string and a fingered B. So it sounds like this. And we're back to the chorus. All right, so now we have this section where I actually call it the guitar solo or the interlude or whatever. Chords move around quite quickly there, and definitely live they don't play this exactly the same way. They might play an open A power chord there, but on the recording it's obviously they're playing it up here because there's a lot of vibrato on it. So I'm going to play it like you would hear on the actual recording. Sounds like this. All right, so that's going to be the power chord down to low E string there, 4, 2, 4, 7, and then 2, 0, 2, 5. Like I said, if you play it here, see him play it now, they'll be like kind of doing something like that. All right, now over that we have what would be the guitar solo, I guess. That's just sliding into the 12th and then on the B string, and then the 13th on the G. I'm just doing that over. And then he just going into the bridge. He just does a slow bend at the 14th fret on the B string. All right, now that bridge is going to sound like this. All right, so we got a big power chord up here at the E power chord. It's the 7th fret on the A, 9 on the D and the G, and all the open strings around it. Into that G power chord. And then the same thing we ended the previous riff. Repeat that. It's going to end like this. The power chord, and then the 2nd fret power chord. All right, and now we have kind of a breakdown of the chorus, which is just done with a clean guitar, kind of an arpeggio picked clean guitar. So let me play through that real quick for you. So it just kind of repeats that, and every once in a while he'll throw some more, kind of a little bit notes, more notes on top, but he's still playing the same pattern here. So that's based off this power chord here. Second fret on the A to the fourth fret on the D, and then 4 on the G, and then the open G. And you can hit the open B in there with it if you want. And then we're going to go to this G power chord. You're going to pick the 6th string, followed by the D string, B string, open G. So E, D, B string, and G string. So far. To that D power chord, that's just the open D, G string, B string, and then you're going to lift up the first finger and hit the open G string. Kind of working this through. It's all together so far. Now from there, it gets a little bit easier to remember. It's open A. That's open A to the D string, 2nd fret, then just the B and the G open, one after the other. Then you're just going to change and hit the low E string, back to the 2nd fret on the D, and back to the open B string. And then now kind of the same thing again, just 3rd fret on the low E, open D, open B, open G. So all together. Repeat. Now over that there's a little fill that is kind of really reminiscent of the fill we did earlier. I want to switch to the neck pickup. So what's going on here is you're going to play the 14th fret on the G, then they open B and E string, then 12, 11, and then you're going to do a pull off 12 to 11, slide to 9, and then end it with 7 to 9, sliding 7 to 9. So this. And just kind of repeat that, and that's going on over the. All right, so now we have an outro chorus, which is back to the heavy riffs, is what this comes out of, and a little bit slightly different than the previous chorus. So let me play it for you real quick. All right, so we have a long extended out chorus here. So the difference here is we're going to play the same opening chord. Up on that A power chord, you're going to do this power chord at the 1st fret, and then it leads us back to the beginning of the chorus. Now that repeats for quite some time, until the very end of the song where they go from just the regular chorus chords and then up to that. Just like the end of basically the first chorus, just coming from that power chord, G power chord, 2nd fret there on the low E power chord. All right, so there's a lot of cool stuff in there, some fun riffs to play. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitaristLessons365.com.